Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Midnight War. This is part 3A, I guess, or sorry, part 3B, episode 3, part 2, something like that. So if you're watching along at home, hopefully by now you kind of know the drill. The Midnight War is a linked campaign of standalone adventures, or a linked campaign of basically one-shots. In this case, though, it's a two-shot because last time, and we'll get to a recap in a second, but last time basically we got so stuck with the worst sea voyage that I've ever personally had the pleasure of killing or almost killing players on. It just took all night to get us to Ralakarr, which is our destination. And so what I thought that we would do was just, it's fine, it's my game. I can extend it a week if I want to. So we have Ralavar, Jethar, and Hunos back for another week to finish out their adventure. Unfortunately, Nate, who was playing Argar, is unable to join us, which we're very sad about. He had an emergency come up at work. There's no way around it, so he's unable to join us tonight. But we've got two of our players here living by their wits and really hoping who knows will take care of business whenever it needs to be taken care of. So when last we left our heroes Raylivar, Jethar, and Hunos, along with their companion Argar, had began on the island of Lafiklorpeim, which is the largest island and sort of the capital of the Leopard Isles. And there they went visited the city known as, or the carnival or the circus known as the Circus of the Damned, where they met with their contact, Arpesh the Undying. And Arpesh basically briefed them on their mission. So this is the Pelican group of Phase 1 of the Midnight War, which means that they are in the service of the Loyalist faction, those who believe that Prince Galal is the true king and is still out there somewhere. A fool's hope in these days, some might say. And they found out that they had a very important mission to attempt to go to the city of Ralakarr in hopes of rescuing the beloved of Tenerendel, one of the leaders of the Loyalist faction, along with your sort of master or chief. I don't know if he's got a particular title, Tanglebear of the Silver Hand. And basically the chief storyteller, Lady Thalthanai, who's the chief storyteller of the in other words, like the head of the secret police, chief torturer, etc., of the Amborian state, had captured Tenerendel's wife, Talini the Fletcher, in hopes of blackmailing Tenerendel into assassinating Mother Zishune. And so you are basically going in search of Talini, trying to rescue her. And you're doing all this while the original playgroup, and in fact the sort of original heroes that kicked off the events that eventually became the Midnight War, led by Tanglebear Silverhand and Rayana and Tenerendel and the rest of them, while they go in search of the Cloak of Midnight, which is one of the 5 regalia of the kings of Emboria. And one of the things that people like Onway, people like the Midnight Prince, would be eager to get their hands on in order to legitimize themselves as the ruler of the lands around the sea. So you guys set out from man, I totally thought I wrote this down. So you guys set out from the Leopard Isles and sailed north. And unfortunately, you were severely delayed due to due to random events beyond anybody's control as you were out on the sea. You became ensnared after only a day of sailing, became ensnared in a poison tide. Your ship grappled by the seaweed, tormented by nightmares, strange visions of things moving in the deep, and of course the mist wraiths who almost stole your faces. This was not the only hazard that you encountered as you sailed forth, but finally, on the this is what I thought I wrote down. I thought I wrote down the day that you guys arrived. I know I said it on the end of the last recording. So what we'll do, this is kind of bad manners, but because I apparently didn't write it down.
I thought it was like the 18th or something like that. I don't
So we
know.
left on the 18th.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there
We
you
left
go.
on the 18th, but hold on. We can. So what I'll do is just look at the calendar real quick. I'm pretty sure I remember, but I want to just look at the calendar and then I can always retroactively correct it. It mostly matters because I do need to, since we have multiple groups that are going at the same time, I sort of need to keep track of what's happening and when. So in the core book, if people are following along at home and you've actually got the sample rules PDF that we put out, if you back which was for Kickstarter backers, one of the things that is in there is a sample Emborian calendar, because it's the assumption that if you're playing Emboria, that you're keeping a close track of time, passage of time. And the reason this is important is because unlike a lot of other role-playing settings where the stuff is kind of like vaguely waved off or whatever, in Emboria, you actually have like a liturgical calendar and certain cosmological events that happen at certain times of the year. And those are the kinds of things that are actually really cool to work into your game, but you can't do that in a meaningful way unless you actually know what time it was. So yeah, you left on the 18th or the 19th of Ibram. 1, 2, 3. Oh, geez. Okay, hold on. We can work this out. Well, I'm going to go back and listen to the recording a little bit later, and so we'll correct this if necessary. But what I seem to remember is that it took about 21 days for you guys to get to your destination.
Instead of 5 or 6, I think, or
Say it
8.
again.
We were supposed to be like 8, something like that.
It's supposed to be 8, and then you were stuck for 5 days, right? So that's 14. So it's about 2 weeks. So what we're gonna say is that you arrived on the 11th of Kanubar the Crown, which is the second to last month of the year. And that's what we're going to be going off of that assumption tonight in case it becomes important. And then I'll go back and listen to the recording of last session later. Sorry, everybody. I feel a little unprofessional about this, but you know how it is. Like you think you write something down in your notes, and then I'm like looking through my notes. I'm like, because I always actually, so this is a little insight into how to run Emboria. I always write down at the start of a session begins on this date. And then based on the passage of time within the session, I always write down ends on this date so that I can, and so and then that actually goes into my recap. And so for each episode or each session, what I usually do is write a recap. It's a little more formal than what I just did. But it's usually about a paragraph to 2 paragraphs long that just recaps, here's all the important salient events that happened in the previous session. And this is where we're picking up now. And I call it the When Last We Left Our Heroes. If it's like you think of like an old time television serial or something like that, right? Where you get for me it's the old Batman 66 show, which I grew up on, and so there's always, all those episodes were 2-parters, pretty much like 2-part stories. And so the second one would always have like, here's a bunch of flashbacks to what happened before. The rolling credits at the beginning of Star Trek, the Star Wars films, are also a good example of this. Star Wars starts at episode 4 because the idea is you're walking into the movie theater in the middle of like an old-timey pulp sci-fi serial that you actually haven't seen the previous episodes of, so you just have to kind of go based off of like what the rolling credits are telling you. So anyway, it's that kind of a thing. So I do something like that, and then I always sort of say, and now on the 11th day of the month of Kanuvar the Crown, you arrive in the city of Ralakarr. It's about mid-morning. You are extremely weary. Your companion Argar is still reeling from his injuries sustained during the journey and is going to be unable to continue with you on your quest into the capital city of Cheksaka, the northern capital, the northern province. And but you're here with Arpesh, the Undying, who has proven to remain undying mostly by staying in his cabin when there was fighting to be done. But as he disembarks from the ship, Arpesh, although you've seen him seemingly cowering in fear, as he prepares to disembark from the ship, he's totally calm, cool, and collected. He's well dressed in kind of long, garishly bright robes, silks, satins, rich embroidery. His dark hair and beard are just like immaculately oiled and perfumed. And he adjusts his outer coat a little bit as he prepares to disembark. Well, are Arpesh's friends ready to begin this quest?
Jathar's just gonna come up to him and kind of look him up and down and be like, so where did you get, all of that?
It was in Arpesh's trunk. You do not expect.
What about us? Since we, saved your life?
You are wanting to wear Arpesh's clothes?
Well, I'm saying, do you have anything similar that we could borrow to maybe look a little nicer than, and you are just gonna kind of look at us, what we're wearing.
He looks you up and down with a certain degree of disdain. Mostly like, yeah, just Jathar, your character, you're a sophomore. Are you from a noble family? Or are you from, what's your background?
Not noble, but it's I mean, I would say probably my parents got me to go to the Royal Library. So I would say higher middle class-ish.
If it is truly necessary, we can stop in town and get you clothes appropriate to your vocation, which are a little less troublesome.
I mean, I personally think it's necessary. I don't know about Ralakarr. Who knows, though?
I'm actually wondering about the message we want to give with our clothes. Are we coming in as distinguished nobles, or are we trying to fit in?
I brought one of my more subdued outfits in order to blend in.
I see.
Which of you is gonna be my captive? Wasn't that our ruse? Didn't we decide that we were gonna bring one of you in as a bartering tool or something like that? Maybe
I don't remember this, but
Arpesh does not remember this plan.
we could have a, rather garishly dressed foreigner, a spy, perhaps, that we could turn in. Actually,
perhaps we should find somewhere to eat.
So,
give something to eat, something to drink, and then Arpesh will tell you the plan that he has devised. And if you have something you wish to add, we can discuss it.
Very well.
yeah, give us a reminder of who we're supposed to contact. Is it the storytellers that we're reaching out to?
Well, so he hasn't told you who you're supposed to contact.
Yeah.
He's kept a lot to himself, and you guys didn't really ask a lot of questions last time.
Because I was just thinking, maybe we could just go kill Zishanai ourselves, Mother Zishanai, and then all the pressure would be off, and they would just release this fine woman,
So first of all, Mother Zishune is like she's the very important woman that you. Oh, okay, all right. I was like,
We're
okay,
not murder hobos.
gotta check and see if you're serious. I mean, you just left the island that she was on, and it was really hard to get here. So A, you'd have to turn around and sail back, which maybe you don't want to do. But okay, all right. As long as
You
it's,
don't understand. Who knows joking? Yes.
I got you. Sorry. Who knows is he's got a sense of humor.
Yeah.
No adjectives, please. Yes.
That is a sense of humor. Yep. All right. Let's see.
Well,
All right. So the best inn in Ralakarr is known as the Sign of the Raven. You are traveling on Arpesh's dime, so to speak. So he takes care of your accommodations. Dinner is a stew made of large dark gray peas and bacon fat. It's served with a very good barley beer, which for all of you actually is kind of a novelty. There's not beer, but like beer is not really drunk outside of Czechoslovakia, the northern province. Rice wine is the more common beverage for like peasants in most other places in the lands around the sea. The second course is marinated herring served with thick slices of rye bread and sour cream. And then finally, for dessert, there's a bread pudding also made from rye bread with sweet cream and dried plums. It's also served with gilin, which is basically whiskey, like malt whiskey. The gilin that is served with yours is it's not very well aged or anything like that, but it is a distilled spirit made from barley. Yeah, so
okay.
as the meal kind of comes out course after course, Arpesh just kind of babbles on about nothing in particular. Talks to you about the circus business, about his act, about women that he's known, so on and so forth.
Okay. Do we have a sense of who's paying for this?
Do we have a sense of what? Sorry?
Arpesh is paying for this.
Arpesh is you're sort of on his dime, so he's taking care of room and board while you're here in town.
I'll dig in.
Jathar's just gonna look at Arpesh and is all the food exotic to us, or is it just like the beer specifically?
The beer and the gilin, I mean, you probably had them before, but that's pretty unusual. The rest of the food is in some senses it's a lot, I mean, it's very hearty, but it's a very kind of a different diet than what you'd be used to in Senkenkar, for instance, or certainly in the Leopard Isles. The food is I mean, think of the difference between like like East Asian or Greek food versus like Northern European food, right? It's just, I mean, there's a lot more fats. There's a lot more kind of things tend to be savory rather than spicy, etc. So it's a very different flavor palette actually than the one that you're used to.
Okay. Jathar's gonna look at actually Ralakarr and Hunos and just be like, as he's kind of inspecting the food and eating it ravenously, he really likes the differences. He's just gonna be like, have you guys had anything like this before?
On my travels, when we would run out of spice, this is more or less what things would taste like when we were a few weeks out at sea.
Except you didn't have sour cream.
Yeah.
No sour cream.
Are you saying that you don't like this?
No, it is fine. It is not quite enough. It is full in the belly, but not on the tongue.
Maybe we should sprinkle a little bit of that spice that Huno's got onto it. We'll flavor it up a little bit for you.
Are you gonna try to enhance your recipe a little bit?
No, we're keeping this for other things. So
Jathar's like, yes, I am doing it.
Yeah, like I want to see what's going on here.
Just for funsies, give me a craft roll.
Okay. That was great. Let's see here. Sorry, one sec. I rolled an 8.
Okay. Yeah, you are able to put the tiniest pinch. It's interesting. You've definitely taken the flavor palette from like Northern Europe to like maybe Tex-Mex.
Okay.
Still lots
Nice.
of cheese and cream and stuff, but now also just like a real hefty kick of spice. Thankfully, you don't think it's anything that's going to result in like serious gastronomic distress later on in the night.
Okay.
But you get the sense that if you had been a little sloppy with this, you'd be in a world of hurt right now. This stuff is very strong.
Okay, I'm gonna grab. Is it utensil eating or is it
No, it's hands.
hands? Gonna
Yeah.
grab a
And
little bit and
most
just
people
kind of.
have you eat with a knife that you use to cut things, and then you scoop it up with pieces of bread, basically.
Okay, I'm gonna scoop a little bit and then just kind of shove it into Ralavar's face and be like, try.
I try.
A lot better, more spicy.
More spicy.
Yes.
You see one small tear out of Ralakar's right eye.
Oh, I shouldn't have. Not with that hand.
I've done that so many times in my life.
Oh man, yeah.
The worst.
And then just gonna look at Arpesh and be like, all right, Arpesh, we're here. We came here. We saved your life, saved the boat, did more than what we are paid for so far with all that going on and our travels being long and you assuring us that this would be a safe trip, and it wasn't. Yeah, very much so not. So what is
Arpesh begs to differ,
your plan?
As Arpesh mentioned, he has a cunning plan. A most cunning plan. A plan so cunning you could put a tail upon it and call it a fox.
The more you praise it, the more I am skeptical.
Like our cunning plans, it has beauty both in its complexity and in its simplicity. So you just have to follow Arpesh for a moment. Save your commentary until the end. There is in this this city, there is currently a ban on the duel as it is fought in the streets. This was due to Honorama the Bald taking his role as governor and ruler of the northern province. When Honorama took this position, there were many who opposed him, many who supported him, and his detractors and his supporters, they had frequent clashes in the streets. So in order to cut down on bloodshed, Honorama has banned the time-honored practice of the duel for the time being. This, of course, does not mean dueling is not happening. It simply means it is happening. Let us say, not beneath the sun. There is here in town a young nobleman who Arpesh knows to have connections to the storytellers. This nobleman is named Anderu, and he is the decadent son of a decadent family of nobles who served the old governor, the one who tragically he died, so I hear. He was of the party of those opposed to Honorama's coming, but his family, they have since made nice. Now, Anderu has, how you say, a gambling problem. And he likes to place bets upon duels which happen in the catacombs beneath the city. Now, Arpesh's cunning plan is for us to befriend this Anbeiru. Specifically for you three to befriend this Anbeiru. And to inveigle yourself into this dueling society. When you do so, we will, one of you will challenge Anbeiru's champion, a renowned warrior by the name of Ralus the Grim. And we will induce Anbeiru to bet so much money on Ralus that when he inevitably loses the bet, that he will be in our debt and will have no choice but to acquiesce to our demands. And doing this, we will find out where the storytellers are based, and we will get access to the Lady Thouthanai. As I said, it's a very cunning plan, both complex and beautiful in its simplicity.
What's the name of this disgraced noble's son?
His name is Anbeiru. That's Anbeiru. Anbeiru. Not a disgrace, but very decadent, let us say.
Okay.
You say this is simple.
So simple.
But we're going to have to... Do you know where Anbeiru is? Where we can find him?
Arpesh leans forward, cocks his head to one side. If you listen now, you can hear Anbeiru and his young companions in the common room below. And you sort of listen for a moment and you hear like whooping and hollering, and somebody yells an obscenity at the top of their lungs and everybody laughs. There's definitely some kind of a big party going on downstairs.
So it seems like we have two goals. One is to get in his good graces and also have him continue to bet on Aurelius.
Yes, we need to establish ourselves either as friends or as rivals.
Rile him up a little bit.
But rivals that he won't have much confidence in.
Rivals that he will be so confident in his champion, who, by the way, is undefeated in over 20 duels. So that he will place a bet in him so large that he will have no choice but to acquiesce to our demands. Now, a moment ago, Jathar, I believe, as we were disembarking, he asked if his clothes, they could have a bit of an upgrade. It was my intention that perhaps, who knows, you are most likely to be the champion, I think, based on your performance on board the ship, which is, of course, why I did not engage in combat myself. I was.
So what is Arpesh's role in this?
What is Arpesh's role? Arpesh is the finance. He is the handler. As for getting more closely involved, Arpesh cannot afford to do so for a very obvious reason. I am Tinglebur Silverhands, let us say, right-hand man. If I get too close to the storytellers, we risk the network being compromised. Arpesh therefore needs people who are trustworthy, but also disposable.
That's us. Thanks. Yeah.
So we're disposable for you. You
I thought
are
you just
our bank.
To some degree, yes. So if Hunos here is to act as the champion, then perhaps one of you, he kind of eyes both of you a little bit. Perhaps one of you would be willing to play the part of the decadent young noble.
I think this should be Jathar. I am not quite as young as he. And I may be able to work in different ways. Perhaps if I forget the word, hype Hunos up beforehand among the crowd, among the people, maybe he would see Hunos as more of a challenge, as someone who can't be ignored.
Why don't you be his Ralakarr? You could be his tutor and chaperone.
Sure.
Maybe?
Yeah.
And you see, a plan comes together so naturally.
There's one kind of caveat of this. Hunos, amazing. He has saved our lives, and it's great warrior. But we've never seen this. How do you say his name?
Ralos the Grim.
Ralos. We've never seen this champion who's won 22 bouts in a row. So how are you going to guarantee that Hunos can win?
Arpesh seems a little shocked that you would even ask such a question.
Yeah, I'll go full on right into it still.
Arpesh assumed that you would, of course, make the necessary arrangements to win by any means necessary.
Okay.
This is fine. Yeah, we've learned to win however we need to win, but we do need to observe our opponent ahead of time. So we would like to see, if possible, maybe 1 or 2 matches.
Well, if you are very lucky, you may be able to get into view a duel as early as tonight. This will be up to the 3 of you. Arpesh will wait here in the room. And let us say, check in by the second watch of the night. If you have not arrived by then, Arpesh will assume you are dead. And he will find some other fools who are willing to undertake this task.
These fools, and Jathar's just gonna kind of stick his hand out. These fools, like you say, need our bank to finance our endeavor.
Of course, Arpesh rummages around in his traveling trunk and produces from them a suit of magnificent clothes. Not nearly as garish as the things he's wearing, but you have to remember, Arpesh is an acrobat. He's a circus performer, but a really fine suit of clothes. Kind of like rich blue and purple, lots of embroidery. Like sort of like, and the embroidery is like metallic, like silver and gold thread. Like it's very nice stuff. This is the sort of stuff that a nobleman from Senkankar would wear, basically. So he produces those and also a bag of money with about 200 silver stars in it. I trust this would be enough to get you by this evening.
It should be. If we do need more, I'm sure that we'll be able to find you. Since you want this done and everything.
He has a sort of look in his eye like, did I make a mistake? But he smirks and he says, in your place, Arpesh would no doubt do the same.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So you've got a change of clothes. You've got some money. There's a party going on downstairs. And at this point, it's up to you guys to decide how you want to approach this.
So, Ralakarr and Hunos, how do you guys want to go about?
Let me get some water while you guys talk.
Yeah.
as soon as possible. I'd like to see the first match,
Yeah.
the next match, and I want to watch like a few things. Does someone give him something to drink right before he enters the match? What's he wearing? And is it the sort of thing you'd wear around all day or put on right before a match? Like who's he close to? And see if there's any angle for sabotaging his performance in any of those vectors, perhaps.
I'm thinking we may have to instigate his first match with somebody else.
Well, I think he's just gonna show up to fight whoever is the night's challenger. We're probably just gonna watch what happens. It's a scheduled betting event, isn't it?
I'm
That's
not
what I understand.
sure.
So far as we know, they do this regularly, maybe.
Yeah.
And whoever wishes to challenge may.
Yeah. So, generous GM, is this like a guarantee that the match is going on tonight that we can watch? Or no? Okay, yeah. So
are these duels weekly?
Arpesh was speaking based off of what he guesses.
Yeah. So we might have to instigate something.
Let's find out.
Yeah, yeah.
But
so
yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying, like, so I'm going to be the young noble guy. Ralakarr, you're going to kind of raise up Hunos in a light of, just amazingness and awesomeness of grand old warrior.
Something that he cannot ignore.
Yeah.
And I'm Jathar's bodyguard. But
that makes sense.
Jathar likes to bet.
Yeah.
And he's anxious to bet on something. So maybe you might even spend some money on tonight's match.
Okay.
We'll get our target interested in having you lose more money to him in the future.
Yeah, okay.
Especially if he thinks you're highly competent in my skills.
Yeah.
Then
that makes
you're
sense.
willing to go all in. Then he thinks, okay, great.
Okay. And then Ralakarr, so where are you going to be? Like, is your character older, middle-aged or something?
Sort of middle-aged, yeah.
Okay. So you could be like a tutor to Jathar type of thing?
Yeah. I could be there kind of beside you, being your advisor and whatnot.
Okay.
Unless we want me to slip away and do things in the shadows, I can be a put-together advisor, or I could be a kind of crazed advisor. If you want someone a little more mystical with you, but that also comes with its risks.
It does. Mystical might work.
It might
work. I can be put together.
The goal is to be people that others can't take completely seriously. But we're believable.
Yeah.
But they're not worried about us.
We have the money now to back it up, so that's good.
Right.
Okay.
I like the betting tonight plan.
Yeah. I think that's a good plan. So I guess, do we only have one set of clothes or multiple?
I can go out and buy some.
Yes.
For something that would be local, unless we don't want to be local.
Well, if I'm gonna be playing as a noble, I probably can't be local because otherwise people would know. So I can put on these extravagant gowns, robes, if we want to go this route. And then we can purchase you two some more, at least nicer things. Yeah. Well, let's go see what's going on at least. I mean, that's probably the best route next. Go see what's going on up there. Okay.
Agree.
Agreed.
So we go down to
But
the
actually,
party?
quick question. How long do we get our medal back?
Oh, good question.
Oh yeah.
You'll have it back now because you've gotten to a safe place, you've rested, you've had a meal. So any metal you lost from travel, you get back. Any
Okay.
metal that you lost permanently because of a scar, you still are missing.
Okay.
On bookkeeping, could I read the auspices for the month of Canavar? Or take the auspices?
Yes, you can. All right, hold on. Let me get this pulled up.
Yeah, sorry, this is a little. Tables on page 80 of the document that was put on Discord anyway. Or on the update, not Discord.
I'm sorry, guys. My mouse stopped working.
You're good.
It's having to navigate real slowly here.
We're just
I've also kind of
going down the steps
updated
very slow.
taking the auspices stuff a couple of times. So I'm just pulling that up. So okay, all right. So you're a star singer.
Mhm.
All right. Ooh. All right. All right, so urban skills are auspicious, martial skills are inauspicious during this month. And your pool is at -1.
Okay.
And then your devotion pool is at -1. And then as a star singer, you get to roll a d6 on the above table for either the previous month, first half of the month. So you're at a -1, but then your star singer bonus gives you a +3, so you're actually just at a +2 to your devotion.
Great.
All right.
Great, thanks.
Yep.
All right, so yeah, I think we go and see the party, see what's going on.
All right. So you head downstairs, and there is, in fact, a pretty good party going on. There are probably about 12 young nobles here. They're all from wealthy families within the city, and let's see here. They're all from wealthy families within the city, and they're each kind of there with their entourage. This is the kind of meeting that if it were happening in the early 2000s, there'd be like a heavy smell of Axe body spray in the air. I don't
Nice.
know if that's a thing people still do, but yeah, but there's a heavy smell of just like but they're all like well dressed, perfumed, but also like kind of slovenly, like they've been kind of partying all night, and this is just their most recent, destination that they've arrived at. There is uh there are obviously several young women here as well. All told, there's probably about 50 people in the party. The common room is pretty packed. You can see the staff of the my brain just shorted out. The staff of the Sign of the Raven is scurrying around basically as quickly as possible, trying to get as much done as they possibly can. But yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot going on.
I'm gonna take attention to the staff. Who's here as far as staffers? Are there?
Yeah.
Is it
So
two people or are there like six?
There's 4 serving maids. There's no back kitchen. The kitchen is the big stove in the middle of the common room. And so the host is, you know, like the guy that actually owns the house. He's there. And he is directing 2 other cooks who are working furiously, and there are 4 girls. They all look to be in kind of the early 20s, who are rushing around trying to fill cups and respond to orders as quickly as possible.
Did we hear or do we know who Mbaru is?
You have no idea.
Yeah, we don't. Okay. All right. Well, I figure we just kind of I'm gonna look over to Ralakarr and just be like, so there's obviously a lot of people here. Do you want to kind of slink off and look at your own thing and figure out your own thing, or do we all just kind of want to go in and see what happens?
Well, we definitely want to find our target. My idea, and I don't have to do it here, although this might be the best, was to get talking to some people and just introduce them by name to Hunos. And I hope you're taking your actual name. If not, we can find you a stage name.
Where are we representing ourselves being from? I mean, they probably are aware of who the noble families are in this city, so we can't choose that. What is Arpesh's plan for that? Or we'll just assume he has one and let him
we could probably say that we're from what's the holy city called? Sethiki?
Senkankar.
Senkankar. We could say we're from Senkankar because that is the culture that I know.
And it is metropolitan enough.
You can be a young Senkankari noble that has a retinue of people from other places. Like it's not
okay.
That wouldn't be like unbelievable.
Okay, yeah, I would say that's what we could do. I have experience with the Tenkari noblemen. I know kind of how they act pompously. And so I think we can kind of give off that impression and blend in with and kind of look around this crowd, which is seemingly very similar. So I would say that, yeah, I think Ralakarr, if introducing Hunos by his name or a name that he wants, I think that's a great idea.
And perhaps I could get songs stuck in their head that would make them remember the name. Right, you go to these parties and meet 100 people. You don't remember anyone, especially after, 3 or 4 of those, what is it, Gillian. Okay.
So here's a question. It seems like if we have a confirmed and compulsive bettor that's our target, we want to make the odds as much in his favor as possible. So we actually need to talk up my skills.
Yeah.
And get the whole room not necessarily tonight, but in the future, get the whole room interested in betting on Hunos. But privately, make sure that Ambaru thinks that it's a crock, and then make a killing by betting against him.
Yeah. Can we see? Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Can we see anyone actively betting or playing games or something like that?
Yeah, there's 2 or 3 people who are playing what appears to be a dice game over in the corner.
Nice. I'm gonna look at Ralakarr and Hinos and just say, well, I think this is a great idea. If you guys aren't opposed to it, I can try my hand at the table over there and see what I can learn. Um, I can maybe intrigue more people for betting, things like that. See what people bet on, see if there's anything going on tonight, stuff like that.
And if you
That's
talk
all right.
up
It's a
Hunos,
card game. It's not a dice game. It's a card game.
Okay.
Yeah.
and if you talk up Hunos as much as you talk up yourself during this process, perhaps they will get the idea that you're just talking.
Yeah.
You're all talk, no fight.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. Okay. All right. Well, Jathar's just gonna do a beeline straight to the gambling table.
All right. Yeah. There's a small number of young noblemen here. Any one of them could be on Beirut, as far as you know. Um, but as they're kind of talking and jesting and like talking smack a little bit, one of them gets angry, throws his cards down, storms off. Um, and the one who just won is kind of raking at his winnings, and he's just laughing. And you
Okay.
hear a couple of people referring to this guy, the one guy that just won, as Beirut.
Okay. Can I like I guess when I was walking up, could I see or could I perceive if anyone, do I know this game? Like, could I see if someone was cheating? Could I
Uh,
tell?
what would this be? Give me a thievery check.
Favorite. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Fail.
It's a game. It's a very simple card game called Thorintus Kiss.
Okay. Yeah, I failed.
Okay, yeah, no way for you to tell. If they're
Okay.
cheating, they're too clever for you.
Okay. All right, then I'm actually gonna go look. I'm gonna follow the guy who stormed off. And see where he goes, and if he goes to like, yeah, where I guess where does he go?
Yeah, he staggers, kind of zigzags his way through the room, like harasses a couple of the serving girls and everything, and then eventually leaves out the front door.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna follow him.
Stupid. And Beirut, he had telling me he's got 2 shuttles. It's just not. It's impossible.
I'm gonna put my hand on the guy's shoulder and just be like, my friend, it's okay. It's okay. I heard you mumbling about Mberu, and I was just wondering what happened.
Oh, that son of a seagull. He took me for 500 silver stars.
Whew.
Said he had a pair of kisses, but it is not possible because I had a pair of kisses.
So he's a lying little bastard.
He's a cheating little bastard. That's what he is.
Ah.
That's what he is.
What's your name?
What's his name? Trying to switch between my multiple notes here. My name is Herrick.
Eric.
Herrick.
It's nice to meet you, Eric.
You got a funny accent. Where are you from?
Oh, I'm just I'm from over there yonder. It's not a big deal. But I will say, you seem like a fine gentleman.
That's right.
Yes.
My blood is as good as anybody's here.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it fully. In Baru, though, oh man, that guy. I don't. Ugh, yeah.
But he's the worst.
The worst.
I'll tell you a story about Mbaru. He said he had a pair of kisses. Did I tell
Yes.
you the story already?
Yeah, you did. He had the two. He was cheating. He was cheating.
Not for the first time. Mbaru was cheated.
Ah.
The first time. This one time, Mbaru, he liked this woman, and the woman's brother, he didn't like Mbaru. And then Mbaru said, "Oh, fine, whatever. I'll back off." Blah blah blah. Right? And then the next day, somebody challenged the brother to a duel. The brother got, and Mbaru made a fortune on the bet he made against the brother. Mbaru is kind of this very slippery character. Always gets what he wants. Well, I'm tired of it. It's time for Herrick to get what he wants. And what Herrick wants to do right now is throw up a little bit.
Herrick. You gotta pat his back a little bit and kind of go into his ear and whisper.
He wipes his mouth and burps a little bit just as you get close.
Yeah, it's awful smell. I have a way. I think I have a way for you to get Mbaru back. Would you like that, my friend?
You mean like a little revenge plot?
A little bit. Yeah.
Oh yeah. What
Okay. So I have a friend.
Perfume bottles with laxatives.
Worse than that.
Worse than that.
Worse than that. I need you to. I have some friends in there, right? One of them. Can you repeat this after me? His name is Hunos. Okay.
His name is Hunos.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
Okay. Well, then Hunos.
Yes, we're going to have Hunos duel Mbaru's champion,
Oh,
right?
you're going too fast for me. You said a lot of words. Do I still have to repeat all the words?
No, don't repeat all the words.
Okay.
Now you just listen.
All right.
We need your help. You said that you heard of Mbaru, going after a woman, is that right? And her brother didn't like it, challenged him to a duel. Right. Okay. Do you have any women that you know that are Mbaru fancies?
Do I have a woman that Mbaru fancies?
Anyone that you know?
I don't even have a woman that I fancy right now. It's been kind of hard for Herrick, I have to say. It's been a little difficult. You know how it is to go through a little bit of a dry spell.
Yeah.
I did hear about he fancies the what's his name? The big shiny bald head. That's right. That guy. He's kind of Lord of the Sea now, blah 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 blah. Alnorama, that's his name. He's kind of no, he doesn't fancy Alnorama. That's wrong. I don't think that's right.
Maybe his daughter?
Yes.
Ah. Okay.
Alnorama's daughter. Her name is Dara.
Dara.
Oh, he's got the hots for Dara, but even on Bears, he's not crazy enough to try to fool around with Alnorama's daughter.
Is Dara in here, like partying it up? No.
No. There's a stick she has up her butt. It would not.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it.
So wait a minute. What was the plan again?
Okay, Hunos.
Friend?
Hunos.
His name is Dara.
Hunos.
Who's that?
My friend.
Yes.
You have two friends?
Yes. You are going
Which one?
to Hunos. You know, Hunos. You are going to go to Mbaru
I'm Hunos.
and no, you're not Hunos.
No,
My friend is Hunos.
I'm Herrick.
Yes, you're Herrick. Hunos, the
No,
guy
I'm
Hunos,
Herrick.
my friend
Your friend.
Hunos. We need you to tell Mbaru, maybe not tonight, maybe, in the morning or something when you feel a little better. We need you to tell Mbaru that that Jathar and Hunos, that they are just the best duelers around.
Could you just repeat that last part for me? The part after you said listen carefully.
Hunos is the best dueler around.
He is?
Yes, he is.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, wait, somebody should tell Amberu about that. He would be chuffed.
Tomorrow. Can you tell him tomorrow?
Who's tomorrow?
Okay, okay. He's just gonna grab him by the shoulders and just shake him a little bit. Just be like, listen to me. Tomorrow, when you wake up, you need to tell Mbaru that Hunos is the best dueler around.
Okay. Can you just write who knows on his forehead?
That's a good idea.
When I wake up,
Yes.
I'm gonna tell Ambaru Hunos is the best dueler around.
You got it.
It's just one problem.
What?
I don't know who Hunos is.
That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
But
You said you wanted to get back at Mbaru. This is how you get back at him. Yes.
we're gonna get back at Ambaru?
Yes, this is exactly how you do it.
Oh, it's great. What's the plan?
Just do what I just said.
Just do it. Just to tell the thing.
Yeah, tell the thing.
That's gonna get back.
That's it. That's all you got to do.
Oh, he's not gonna see this coming.
Nope, he's not.
I'm gonna be like, "What's up, Ambaru? Who knows? The best duel around."
There you go.
Bam.
Tomorrow.
How is this gonna get back at
You just watch. You just watch. Okay.
Watch.
Watch and listen.
Watch
and then
and
we're good to go.
Okay.
Jathar's just gonna turn back around and head back inside. Ralakarr, who knows?
Hey everybody! Dara is the best dueler. And who knows? All right, well, that was extremely painful.
Yes.
Yeah, for everyone. All right.
I'd like to slip away and not be associated with Jathar and Hunos.
Okay.
And find someone who is similar, drunk but happy drunk, or multiple people who are drunk but happy drunk.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it describes most of the people here.
Great. Yeah. Some that aren't actively in conversation, I'm going to go next to and buy a beer, buy 2 beers, one for me and one for my new friend.
Either for man or woman?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay. There's like a lot of people who are kind of like dancing, but just sort of like half dancing, kind of half going through the motions. No one seems to be playing music anymore. Like there was a musician, but he's like passed out in the corner.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the dancing people. And I'm gonna hand one of them. Actually, I'm gonna have 2. I have 2 beers in hand, and I'm just gonna have 2 of them to 2 of them.
Thank you.
And
you're not as pretty as the last girl who brought my beer.
Oh, don't worry about that. Free beer is free beer, right?
You gotta give to the man. Free beer is free beer. Free beer.
And, I'm just coming here to dance with you with song. And I start humming a repetitive little ditty. And I'm just humming it at first, no lyrics, and hoping that they will march to my beat, so to
Give me a
speak.
little perform check.
Sure thing. Okay, respectable. Ooh, that's an 11, target 55.
11 is a critical success. You have these
Oh,
people
it is.
in your grasp. I mean,
wonderful.
Everybody, like, as soon as you start humming, like, the whole room kind of goes still a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody kind of turns and looks at you. It's like almost much more successful than you've been hoping it to be. But everybody just starts kind of slowly swaying to your tune.
Great. I'm going to start in the middle of my song. I'm just going to say, he's the one who wins most. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. He's the one who wins most. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. He'll beat anyone who shows. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And just like try to get a few people
Yeah, I mean,
singing
with a
along.
critical success, like it catches on like
Okay.
wildfire. Like, the whole room is singing at
Great.
this point.
Excellent. And then in those hums later on, I'm just going to punctuate, who knows, who knows.
Who
And
knows?
then,
Who knows? Yeah, everybody is like has no idea who Hugh knows even is, but they're all like chanting his name, singing. People are adding lyrics. I mean,
right.
you're kind of a magical singer anyway, and so like at some point, one of the verses gets away from even you, and like they're singing exploits of Hunos that nobody's even heard, like very clearly things that never happened, right? Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, no,
And
hugely
I'm
sensitive.
gonna drift off into the darkness.
All right.
I'm gonna talk to Ralakarr and suggest you should get to know some of the wait staff. Maybe spread some coin around.
Good idea.
And then I'll go back to being a statue.
Jathar's gonna go back to the betting table, and just kind of say, "Is this seat taken?"
Under looks up at you, looks over your clothes, looks at the money purse at your side, and he says, well, I was just saving it for you, old chum.
Ah, who do I have the pleasure?
My name is Anberu, but you can just call me the man who will be taking that fine coat of yours tonight.
All right, the man who would be taking this fine coat of mine tonight.
It's a simple game. Florentis Kiss, perhaps you're familiar with it.
Of course.
Well then, betting starts at 50 silver stars.
50 silver stars, huh?
Well,
So chump change.
As he's
Can I I'm gonna try to position myself somewhere where I can observe Ambaru as best I can and try to discern if he's cheating or not. So.
Give me a thievery roll.
Okay.
Ambaru smiles a little bit at you, Jathar, and he says, well, a man after my own tastes. Pray tell then, what stakes would you like to suggest?
I mean, we can do 50 since that's what you suggested, and you're the man who runs the show, I guess.
Well, a small bet to wet your whistle since you just arrived. He takes a few coins, puts them in the middle of the table, and starts dealing cards.
Can I use Panther-Eyed to see if I can see if someone's being shifty?
Panther-Eyed is really like looking for ambushes.
Okay. I say that because my perception.
Yes.
I have very high perception. I have Pantherite and I have
Yeah.
Wanderer.
So
all of my things
I
have
would
deception.
so this is really a deception skill, or like a thievery slash deception kind of a thing. And the reason is because what it really relies on are like subtle, like perception would be like the ability to see things, right? But if you don't know what it is you're looking at, like if somebody's cheating at cards, for instance, or somebody's like running like a con, right? There are little cues that if you're observant but you don't know actually what you're looking for, you're just not going to pick up on those things. So that's why this is more of a deception slash thievery kind of a role.
Okay. What about tells?
Yeah, I'll allow it. I'll allow it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Then yeah,
Okay.
I'll look for any tells that Umbaru has.
All right. So for your first two cards, just go and roll 2d6.
Okay. I got a 3 and a 4.
Okay. Um Anbaru looks at his cards and tosses them in the center. Says, I fold. You win the first hand.
Why, thank you, sir. And I'm just gonna is anyone else playing with us?
No, he was sort of like in between things. There's nobody else playing right this minute.
Is there anyone at the table?
Yeah, there's two other people.
Okay. I'll just kind of nudge the guy to my right and just be like, this guy is pretty generous, isn't he?
The guy that you nudge, like, definitely looks like he's not had the best night. And he just says, yeah, just watch yourself, stranger.
What do I have to watch myself for?
Luck has a way of following Beru around, and he stands up,
Beru would never cheat.
takes his drink, and walks away from the table. Cheat? No. Who said anything about cheating? Just the luck of the draw. Another pair?
Of course.
We could make things a little more interesting, I suppose.
Yeah, I'd say 100 silver is a great idea.
All right, 100 silver stars it is. Go and roll 2d6 for me.
Double sixes.
Yeah, he uh he folds again.
Okay. So I'm up 150.
You're up 150.
Okay, all right.
So how about this, guys? What if we don't play anymore? And he'll want to get back at us at his next opportunity. And we can say something like, let's come back later this week with more to wager.
Okay.
So, like, he'll think the pod's bigger. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll look at Embar and I'll say I'll just kind of start packing up a little bit and just say, "Oh, it's great playing with you. Thank you kindly for your money."
Surely you wouldn't walk away without giving me a chance to get even.
I mean, we played 2 rounds. I think that's a fair 50-50 shot.
Well, I don't know how they do it where you're from, but here in Ralakarr, we typically do best of 5. One more hand.
Best of 5. Where I'm from, we usually do best of 3. Thank you, though.
Sorry, I didn't get your name, friend.
Oh my.
But let's promise a rematch.
Okay. My name is Jathar.
Jathar.
Yeah.
You see his eyes kind of flit up, and you suddenly feel two very large hands on either of your shoulders, pushing you back into your seat.
Hunos is right behind me too, right?
No, Hunos is like somewhere.
I thought he was standing by.
There's two there, yeah, but he's not like right behind you. There's
Okay.
two huge mooks that have kind of come up behind you. One taps you on the shoulders, the other one pushes you back down. When in Ralakarr, you must do as the Ralakarri do. Perhaps that's a bit of manners that they didn't teach you in, I'm going to guess, probably not the holy city, but somewhere thereabouts. The well, the son of a poor baron from the marches, or perhaps Ralakarr, looking to make his mark, make his strike.
Maybe.
North.
Maybe. Where are you from? You from around here? What noble house are you from?
If you were from around here, you wouldn't have to ask.
Okay.
Now, shall we play?
50 again?
50 it is.
Okay. Yeah, not so good. 1 and a 5.
All right, so the way this works is if you didn't get a 7 or a 12, you can double your bet to add another d6.
Does he get to as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I won't, but unless he does.
He reveals his cards. He has a winning pair unless you try to
Okay.
beat him.
Okay, but I have to double my bet, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I'll fold. I'll
All
fold.
right.
Yeah. So we're at 1-2, and you said this is best of 5?
Best of 5, yes.
Okay. Okay. So pretty much, I mean, I just talked with this fine gentleman over here, and I'm just gonna point at the guy that wandered away.
Mm-hmm.
And he accused you of cheating.
That's not exactly what I heard him say. It's just a matter of luck. The luck of
I
the
mean,
draw.
come on, my friends. You and I both know that when someone says something like that, they're alluding to something else. It's pretty plain.
Would you like to deal?
I mean, I can deal.
Let's
All
roll
right.
up sleeves to our elbows.
Yeah. Again, I'm going to look for, I guess, a tell of his if he's doing anything different.
Give me a perception
Obviously.
test.
Okay. I got a 7.
Dropping every stupid dice. You got a what?
I got a 7.
Good. As far as you can tell, there's nothing shady going on.
Okay. Then
If
I'll
he has a
just...
tell, you can't tell.
Okay.
Are you
Yeah, I'll deal. And then I got 2 2s.
2 2s? Do you want to double your bet and throw another d6 on there?
No, I will fold if he's winning.
He hasn't revealed his cards
Okay.
yet, so.
Then no, I won't.
Okay, so you're gonna pass?
Yep.
He says double the pot and takes another card.
Okay.
All right, what's your total? You got a 4 total?
Yeah.
All right, so he's got 10, which is not one of the insta-win combos, but it is a better hand than yours.
Okay.
So he takes see, what was the bet this time? Was it
50?
Was it
I was
another
just doing 50. Yeah.
Okay, so it's doubled to 100.
Okay.
So
Then
the way
yeah,
it works is if you just say and you you keep upping the pot, basically.
Yeah. Okay, I'll definitely fold since
Okay.
it's a 4.
All right. 2 and 2, my friend.
2 and 2.
And I believe we are back to where we started.
Yeah.
Well then. Shall we say 100 for the final bet?
100, huh? So this pretty much be me going back to where I started.
You're already
50
back to where you started.
Yeah, with okay. Okay, because I won 150.
Yeah, and then you've lost 150 because you lost 50 the first one, and then he doubled the pot on the second one.
Okay.
Either
So
player
even if
can,
I folded,
yeah, in Thornton's case, either player can double the pot. Basically, you each pass.
okay.
And like basically you get to either say pass, which either means you have such a good hand that you can't lose, or such a bad hand that you can't win,
Okay.
right? Or you double the pot to draw another card to try to get a winning combination.
Okay. Okay.
And then after the double, if nobody has a winning combination, then basically high card wins.
Okay. It's just
It's a pretty simple game.
gonna look at him and just be like, before we bet more money, is there anyone around here that you fancy?
Why do you ask?
Well, the reason why I ask is because from where I come from, I'm a bit of how would you say, a ladies' man, right?
Mm.
And a lot of times I see that people, young noblemen like yourself, they tend to struggle with the ladies a little bit, at least with the ladies that they actually want. And I feel like you're that type of man.
What does this have to do with the game, Jethal?
Well, how about this? How about we don't play this game? How about I guess who in this city you want the most? And you can guess something of mine, whatever you choose. Does not matter to me. Whatever you think you might know about me. And I will put my full pot in.
This seems rather a silly game. Since
How is it sillier than cards?
because there are plenty of people around here who could tell you things about me, and almost nobody here knows anything about you. I would like to see, before I engage in such ridiculous games, with information that would be impossible for me to verify about you, that you're a man who can stick by your word. You have one hand yet remaining.
You say that I have to stick by my word, yet you push me down and make me continue to play. It's interesting.
I never touched you, my friend.
Ah, your minions. My apologies. I'm gonna start getting a little bit louder.
I tell you what. Let's make it interesting. Since you're so interested in women. I'll play you this hand. And if I win, then if I win, then I shall introduce you to a lady of my choosing. And if you win, I shall introduce you to a lady of your choosing.
Great idea.
All right, draw your cards.
A 4 and a 5.
I'm going to pass.
I will pass.
What you got, Dave?
Oh, actually, I'm not quite sure of the rules of the game you're playing.
Yeah. Well, I would have explained them, but Jathar acted like he knew all
Yeah.
Playing blackjack.
Yeah, it's basically blackjack.
So if you've
Okay.
got 4 to 5, you don't want to stop, you want to draw.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
for sure, draw.
Then I will draw.
Now hold on. If you're going to draw, then we're going to have to double the pot.
So 2 women?
Hmm. That's a fine coat you're wearing.
Mm-hmm. And you?
Any coat in the room you like.
Any what?
Any coat in the room you like.
Any coat in the room that I like.
He gestures around to like everybody at the party.
What if I don't want a coat?
What would you accept?
You seem like you have power.
I have a certain amount of influence with the locals, if that's what you mean. Most of these country bumpkins
Then how about a favor?
owe me a favor.
A favor.
All right, a favor it is. Draw.
I got another 5.
So it's a total of 14.
14.
All right. He reveals his cards. He's got a perfect 7. You may leave your clothes with one of my men.
Well,
Tomorrow, I will meet you at the door of this this establishment, as I believe I have a woman to introduce you to.
okay.
Shall we say at the 3rd hour?
Well, I guess you won fair and square. And I'll just start taking off the cloak and putting it on the chair that I was sitting on. And just be like, hey, now that I think about it, I've heard that you are a little bit into duels.
He raises his eyebrows. Of course, you know, dueling is proscribed for people of the city by order of the governor.
Yes, of course. Someone who takes interest then. Not affiliated with, but takes interest in. I'm assuming correct?
Perhaps. I like many games of chance.
And you are a fine man at a game of chance. As you can see, you took me of everything. Where would one go and watch? Maybe tonight?
Give me a deception roll.
I failed.
He smiles a little bit. I'm sure if you continue to be as well-mannered as you have been with me, you'll have no trouble finding such a place sooner or later.
Can I use honey tongued in this situation?
Ah, sure.
Okay.
Well, let's re-roll the ones die.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Because I got a 91. So.
Oh. Well, you're probably not going to be able to. It's not going to help you anyway then,
Why?
because it only lets you reroll the ones die.
Oh, the
You reroll
ones die,
Yeah,
not the
you could spend a
tens
fate
die.
point if you have some left. You could spend a fate point to reroll the whole roll.
I've not used any fate points,
Okay.
so I will do that
Okay.
in this situation. Okay. All right. So can I use honey tongue still? Because I got a 45 and I need a
Sure.
40.
Okay, go ahead. So you're gonna reroll
Okay.
the ones die, looking for a 0.
Yep, and I did not get it.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
You may be honey tongued, but not quite enough to move him.
okay. Okay. All right. Well then, yeah, I'll get up and just kind of try to find Ralakarr again.
Okay. All right, are you guys doing anything else tonight? As the
think I am going to take.
praises of who knows kind of echo in, the party's kind of breaking up now. People are leaving by 2s and 3s.
I think I am going to take Hunos's suggestion and find a couple wait staff, give them the golden handshake, and just kind of ask about the gentleman that Jahar is playing with. What is his?
Yes, that's Lord Ralakarr. He's well, he's a tricky one.
Tricky? Do you mean? How do you mean?
Oh, I don't like to speak ill of any nobleman, but well, he's the sort of person that is very used to getting his way.
He looks like it. What is his way with drink? Does he have favorites?
To be honest, he drinks very little.
Hmm.
Just a little Gillen most nights. It's really the rest of his entourage that does the drinking. He has a soft spot for women and for gambling. But I don't know if you can really call it gambling if you almost always win. Sometimes when he's had a particularly bad night, which doesn't happen often, but sometimes he does, and he will come in and drink quite excessively, and that's when he's the most dangerous. But usually when he's sober, he's not violent. He has other people for that.
I see, like those two strapping young men behind that other young man.
Yes, he's always got a couple of those with him.
I see. Thank you very much.
Watch yourself. The kinds of questions you're asking are the kind of questions that tend to get a man into trouble.
I see. Well, I only want to buy the man a drink. I just give a little wink and step aside and go talk to others. Just try to mingle.
Okay.
But I think the night is running
Yep.
late.
Yeah.
Yeah, things are starting to wind down.
Okay. I guess Jathar's just gonna not go up to Ralakarr at this point. Jathar's just gonna go back kind of where he came from.
Okay. All right, so are you guys doing anything else to the party, or do you kind of head back to your rooms as the party? Eventually, Anberu gets up and leaves. And as soon as he leaves, basically everybody else starts to leave too.
Is there anyone that looks not drunk but shiftier than others?
Give me a perception test.
I succeed with the 60.
So you're looking for somebody who looks like they're just like a questionable character?
Yeah, questionable character. Maybe maybe they're looking around the room trying to find something, or anybody that just looks unusual, because everyone else is partying it up.
Yeah. There is a woman here, who has been mostly keeping to herself. Um, uh, in fact, she's been kind of keeping like to the like more poorly lit corners of the room, drinking quietly or sometimes with two or three other people. But when you get a look at her as she's getting up and making to leave, she is definitely one of the most beautiful women that you have ever seen. And it's bizarre to you that somebody like this would have been not the center of all of the attention at the party.
Okay.
She's a bit older than you, maybe like early middle-aged, but very beautiful. Stately, statuesque figure. I mean, cheekbones you could, cut ice on. I mean, yeah, the whole package.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, gotta go up to her.
Hmm.
And I just gotta say, excuse me, miss.
She raises an eyebrow at you as though very surprised to even be spoken to by you.
I'm sorry if I'm intruding, but I couldn't help but see that you seem a little different from everyone else here. More put together.
Does that work where you're from?
What do you mean by work?
Please go ahead and out with it. Save us both the pain and embarrassment of watching you stumble all over yourself.
I'm not trying to, how would you say it here? Get you somewhere else alone, if that's what you're trying to
Her
imply of
eyebrows
me.
go up about half an inch.
If that's what you're trying to imply from me, what I'm saying is that you are, instead of all these other people, you are intriguing. I'm a curious individual, and I like intriguing things.
Well, happy to oblige, I suppose.
My name is Jathar. Could I have yours?
You may call me Sharu.
Sharu. It's a pleasure to meet you. May I ask what you're doing here?
Well, I heard that some unusual strangers had disembarked from a ship at the docks earlier today, and I thought I'd come down here and have a look at them myself.
So you are one who also likes intriguing people.
You could say that.
Ah, fascinating. Okay, perfect. Then you are a person that obviously knows a lot about people and about this place and whatnot.
You could say that.
What do you think of me?
What do I think of you? I think you're a very uncomfortable man in over his depth. I think that you're think that you've been in Leopard Isles recently because you have a soft-puri accent, but your skin is far too tanned to have come directly from the holy city in the middle of winter. I think that your companions are eclectic, certainly not the normal retinue of a not a baron, because you don't have the draw quite right. But I would guess perhaps a middle class, how you're polite. a bit of refinement, which would suggest some time at the Royal Library, but obviously you wouldn't have made it there in the long run because you've always had a hard time sticking to one thing. And and you're here looking for someone.
Who do you think I'm looking for?
Well, all of my other observations are based on simple deduction.
Mm-hmm.
As for who you're looking for, I'm sure I don't know. But
I'm sure you have a guess.
if you're here trying to make friends with Anbelu, then I assume it's some young woman.
Is he a womanizer?
Anberu likes winning.
I see. Do you get under his skin?
Do I get under his skin? I'm sure I couldn't say.
I'm sure you could. I'm sure he sees you as some sort of conquest, like, some people like to think about women, and he cannot conquer you. And therefore, I would say you probably do get under his skin.
If Anberu is perturbed by my presence, I assure you, it is not for that reason.
Sharu, was it?
Indeed.
I'm going to talk to Ralakarr and say it's time you took your charge away from the conversation.
All right.
It's not
I'm
becoming.
going to. Master Jathar, I think it is time that we get you home. You have a regiment to stick to and a busy schedule tomorrow as we go about the city.
Yes, you are completely correct. Sharu, it was a pleasure meeting you. You are extremely interesting. Is there any way that I could see you again? Any way I could contact you?
Oh, don't worry. I'm sure we'll meet again soon.
Okay. Yeah. So I was just gonna look at you and just be like, I don't know. She might be someone to follow.
Actually, I think
No.
he's probably the one who kidnapped the wife.
Yeah.
If we're debriefing that later. Almost certainly. We do not follow her. She is following us. Don't you worry.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay.
Okay.
So I think we're gone.
Yeah, I think we're all good.
All right. You guys headed back up to the room, or what are you doing? Well, Arpeshi's friends returned so soon. I would have expected the debauchery to extend on into the wee hours of the night.
Weren't we actually going to try to figure out where a duel was going to be?
Oh, are you doing that? Sorry, that's fine too. Just tell me what you're doing.
How much of the day left do we have?
It's like 2 a.m. right now.
Okay. Yeah.
It seemed like there was going to be some sort of duel. I couldn't get out of Ambaru where exactly, but
It was supposed to be the catacombs, so maybe we could ask around how to get there.
So most of the people you would have asked have already left the party. Like y'all were focused on other things when the party was going on, so it's a little late now to find that out.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that so I assume that Jathar and Hunos fill me in on what they were doing.
Yeah.
I think we will be meeting our quarry a lot sooner than we had expected with the dueling plan. I, in fact, think that Jathar has a date with her tomorrow.
I have a date with somebody tomorrow at the third hour, whatever that means.
That seems early.
9 o'clock
Is
in
it
the
almost the
morning.
third hour?
9 o'clock. So
Okay.
7 hours from now.
I'm concerned that this date could be with just an assassin. Yeah.
I figured the assassin would be this Sharu character, who we have reason to believe is actually Tauthnai.
She definitely knows who we are. That's for sure.
Or
She
at least
knew
one of Tauthnai's compatriots who, yes, you're right, has information.
They've been watching us since we got off the boat, so I'm assuming that our friend Arpesh was not as discreet as what he thought he was. We can I mean we can wait till morning, or we can go out and look ourselves, see if we can find anybody or hear anything going on.
I think this is a real city, and we've never been here before. It's gonna be pretty tough. Maybe we should go solidify our metal.
You guys want to get some rest and see what happens the next day, or spend all night walking through the streets?
I'm down with whatever.
I think we need to prepare for the possibility of a fight tomorrow morning, or at least an attempted kidnapping, or I don't know what to expect, but
I don't either.
think it is good.
I'm meeting a woman. I don't know what that means.
A woman of Amberu's choosing.
Yes.
He's not going to get you someone you want.
No. Definitely not.
Ooh, boy. All right, what's the verdict, guys? What's the verdict?
I think my opinion is that we go to sleep. We have maybe I just go and Ralakarr and who knows, like sneak around in the background, see if they can not be found. And watch me be something.
I don't know that you should be alone,
I
even
don't
if we're
either.
watching. My eyes aren't any good anymore.
But yeah, we'll go to sleep for now. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you catch Arpesh up as much as you're able. You go to sleep. You get a few hours of fitful rest, and the next day, dawn brings new possibilities. It brings hangovers. It brings the sounds of wagon wheels and arguing townsfolk in the streets outside your window. And yeah, Jathar, did you get any sleep at all? Does Jathar sleep in high pressure situations, or does he?
I'd say he's probably ruminating over everything, just kind of mulling everything over. Not really.
All right. All right. Unless there's anything else you guys do to prepare or whatever, we'll skip to the third hour, which is about 9 o'clock in the morning.
The only thing I want to do is get more money from Arpesh because I lost some.
So just to be clear, Arpesh gives you.
I don't want to tell Arpesh that I gambled though.
I see. I got you.
Yeah.
What exactly you need money for?
Well, you know, again with the
Arpesh does not
whole
mean to
with
seem
the whole
stingy. It's just simply has to file expense accounts.
Oh, yes, I totally understand that.
The paperwork is atrocious.
uh, um, so we have this plan in motion. I have to woo a lady,
What
so I
what
need
are
the
you wooing
I
with? We had very simple plan. Trick man into making stupid bet. It was very simple plan. Arpesh, because he is genius, thought of it, and somehow between dinner last night and 2 o'clock this morning, you came up with completely different plan. And already you are being forced to meet a lady and woo her, and we're no closer to getting invited to secret dueling club.
No, you
Is that
misunderstand.
accurate
This
summary of
is
the situation? Has our past missed some key detail by which this is actually getting us where we want to be?
yes, I am making friends with Ambaru, and he is the one who pretty much, I mean, for all intents and purposes, sets up this whole dueling situation. And so to get an in with him, we have to kind of follow along what he's doing so that we can make some friends, right? Because if he just hates us, then he's just gonna
Why
try to
are you
kill us.
wooing lady? Why are you not wooing and Baru?
This is part this is part of it. Part of wooing the lady is gonna get into good graces with Mbaru.
Maybe.
Oh.
I don't think it's sister.
So I'm just trying to convince Arpesh. Just 150 more so. That's all.
Do you
It's
know
not
who this
much.
lady is who you are wooing?
No, that was part of getting in the good graces. It was one of Ambaru's choosing.
So
Yeah.
your plan is to go on blind date to get in good graces with inveterate gambler. That's his plan? It's going to be very hard to explain on expense reports, but here's money.
With Ralakarr and who knows watching, because yeah, they're smarter than I am.
Not how you are thinking. Watching the wooing, not watching the result. No. That face. Don't make that face that makes me want to make that face thinking. I don't want to think.
All right. Our best will give you until tonight to come through on the results. If that does not work, we're going to have to come up with some other plan.
This will work. This will work.
All right. You get another 150 silver stars.
All right.
All right. When the ninth hour comes, you hear the clip clop, clip clop, clip clop of a horse-drawn carriage, which comes up to the door of the tavern, and it is Anberu, along with his two bodyguards and a driver. Hello, old chum. Glad to see you got a bit of rest.
Just a little bit.
Are
Very,
you
very
ready
good
to
party
meet?
last night.
Are you ready to meet the love of your life?
Oh, yes.
Wonderful. Now, hopefully your companions can entertain themselves while we make a little trip across town.
Oh, no, they'll be coming with.
Oh, that wasn't part of the agreement.
What agreement? All it was is that you introduced me to a lady. I can bring whoever I want.
Very well. They're more than welcome. I'm sure that they will find the experience most edifying.
Good man, good man.
But you, the burly one, you'll have to ride up front with the driver.
And why is that?
Because there simply isn't room in the carriage for.
Why specifically the burly one?
because he
Are
said,
your burly men gonna sit up front too?
I didn't
I'll
let
sit
them
up
into
in
the
the front.
carriage. They ride on the back.
Ah, okay. So it's just gonna be me, you, and Ralavar here.
Assuming Ralavar can keep a civil tongue in his head and behave himself in a nobleman's carriage, which I assume he'll have no difficulty doing. He is more than welcome to join us.
I wordlessly bow.
I guess we go to the carriage.
Assuming bowing is the custom here, that could be very insulting.
Yes. All right. So you get in the carriage and clip clop, creak of wagon wheels, and you start heading across town. As you ride, Anberu offers you both something to drink from the basically like the carriage flask.
I'll just say, oh no, meeting a young and fine lady of your choosing, I have to have all of my wits about me.
My personal advice would be, and he takes a nip from it. My personal advice would be to have a bit of something to take the edge off. But
Sir, are you giving me an ugly woman?
an ugly woman. Well, that would be telling, wouldn't it?
Yes, so?
I think you'll just have to wait and see. And he kind of pokes his head on the side. Ah, we're coming up to the gate now.
Where are you taking us?
Well, to the governor's palace, of course.
Oh, okay. So what lady are you having us meet?
The huge gate of the governor's palace opens,
Uh-huh.
and the carriage rolls inside into the courtyard. The gate is shut behind you by several soldiers who are guarding it. And the footmen come around the side to open the carriage doors, and Anberu disembarks.
Okay, in that little time where Mberu leaves and it's only me and Ralavar,
Yep.
I'm just gonna say, I don't know if you have a plan right now, but
To be honest, this is going much better than I expected.
oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you're having fun. I heard the song that you played, last night. I'm sure that more people have now heard of it at this point because it was an amazing song. So we might still be able to salvage this situation. Yeah, so good luck, I guess. And I'll
Right
step
this
out.
way, my friend.
Yeah.
And Anberu leads you not directly towards the main building, right? But towards one of the large palatial houses that's still part of the palace complex, but is one of the outbuildings off to the
And
west.
so at this point, is Hunos with us as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Just
I assume, unless he wants to do something else. Hunos, would you rather wait with the carriage?
No, I'm staying. I'm following behind them.
All right. You arrive at the house. It's most of the house, most like Amborian kind of mansions are organized into like have a low wall around a courtyard with like a Roman arcade. So it's like, like pillars and shade and just open in the middle, and there's a fountain, and then past that is the main house. So you kind of like walk through the courtyard. You notice like several gray robed attendants, which is a little unusual. But you don't see anything particularly alarming as you walk through the courtyard. And as you approach the main house, you can hear the soft playing of a harp and gentle singing of a woman's voice. And as you enter, you see that there is a young woman kind of playing a harp off in the corner. She's also wearing and singing. She's wearing the gray robes of same robes as the rest of the attendants. But there in the middle of the room, seated kind of on a couch, her head propped up by one arm, with a small table of delicacies spread out before her as though she's just finished breakfast, you see the woman that you know as
Sharu.
Yeah, Sharu. My brain just completely short-circuited. You see the woman you know as Sharu. And as you enter, she barely even looks up at you. And she says, "Well, Anberu, what tiresome nonsense have you brought me today?" And Anberu says, "Those new arrivals from the Leopard Isles. They came to a party I was throwing last night. Yes, if you'd been a little more attentive to your surroundings, you might have noticed that I was there." His eyes raise for a little minute, and you notice for the first time just several beads of sweat that are forming over Anberu's top lip. Surprisingly, given like how cool he was at the card table last night, you begin to realize that he is nervous. Yes, of course. I only meant, well, I thought you'd be pleased that I brought them to you. Very well. Confiscate their weapons. You can take these two, and she points at Hunos and Ralakarr, down to the dungeons and leave this one here for story time.
I guess, I mean,
How many guards are there?
That's a funny thing. You look around, you don't see any.
So who's she talking to?
As far as you can tell, she's just talking to Ralakarr. I mean, there are several of the sort of the gray robed attendants kind of moving about, but you don't see any armed guards.
Okay, so is anyone approaching us to take our weapons?
Are you waiting to see?
I'll say, I mean, I'll just say in my voice, that won't be necessary. We're not staying.
I'm afraid that isn't how this works.
now, Sharu, if that's your name, do I have that correct?
Sure.
Okay. Then Sharu, what's the meaning of all this? You seemed pleasant and intriguing enough when I met you at the party.
I like to think I'm still pleasant and intriguing.
Intriguing, yes, but if you are trying to put me in a dungeon, I'm not going to have to call you pleasant. I'm sorry, but that's just how it goes.
An unfortunate vagary of the business which I am in.
The business?
Yes. The business of, shall we say, storytelling.
Interesting.
I believe that you and your companions have a story to tell, and as boring as I might find it, it is my duty to collect such things.
Well, why not just ask?
I think the best story should be wagered for.
That might work on Anberu, but it's not going to work on me. This is not a situation in which you have leverage or options, just to be clear.
All I said was, why not just ask?
You're working for either the Midnight Prince or that handsome fool, Tanglebur. Am I right?
Maybe.
That means that you've been sent here for one of only 2 or 3 possible reasons. And I am sad to say that none of those reasons are things which I can allow to
What are those reasons?
happen. I believe you're the one that told me I could ask, so let me try to put this to you.
A story is a two-way thing, right? It's the
very definition of something that's not a two-way. Let me try to put this in terms so simple that even your minuscule brains can understand them. The only way that you will leave my house alive and with your fingers, toes, eyes, ears, and manhoods intact are if you quickly and promptly tell me who sent you, why you are here in this city, and what it is you hope to accomplish. Now, if it turns out that our agendas align, perhaps I can help you. And if they do not, well, then you'd better hope that you are striking me right now as incompetent. Because if I thought you were competent, well, you'd already be dead.
What my master is trying to say is that we are here on business that doesn't concern you. And we are simply, and then Ralakarr is going to drop to the ground and start convulsing on the ground and like
Give me
foam coming out of his mouth.
nice.
Give me a deception roll. I would allow perform for this as well.
Okay. Yeah, well, performance is better for me by slightly. Come on, dice. Okay, 38 over 55.
Nice.
All right. Fortunately, that does not beat her very keen perception.
Okay.
She just smiles a little, snaps her fingers, and as soon as she does, and you guys have no idea where they came from, about 12 guards just kind of like materialize from behind the pillars that kind of surround the room that you're in. And 2 of them walk over to you, Ralakarr, and just pull you up by your shoulders.
I'm going to commit to the bit as much as possible. And I'm still flailing, but now I'm going to drone a single low, like almost Tuvian throat singing sound.
Perhaps this act is more convincing where you're from.
My friend here, he's obviously extremely terrified of what's going on. We're not used to this type of business. This danger and all these things. It's very unusual for us. So obviously he's gonna be a little scared right now and do things. As I'm sure you can understand. Why do you think we are somebody?
No. I think you've misunderstood. You don't get to ask questions. You have one chance to answer mine. Then, as I said, fingers, toes, eyes, ears, manhood, etc.
Could I discuss with my friends first?
Well,
This is kind of all crazy, and we're
think it
we're
will
not used to this.
help you. I suppose I'd be willing to let you go back to your inn, take a couple of hours to consult with the fool who is waiting there, and then you could just come back whenever you're ready.
I think that is very fair of you.
You are such buffoons.
You told me that we were incompetent, and we might be.
Do you really not understand sarcasm? No, you may
Again,
not consult with your.
incompetence.
Let me just be clear. You may not consult with your friends. I want to know
Oh,
now,
okay.
or the next time I ask you this question, I'll be asking it. And she takes 2 grapes in her hand and just starts kind of like, like
Yeah, uh-huh.
now she closes her fist, squeezes it, and the juice runs down her arm. Why are you in Ralakarr?
Gonna look at Ralavar and who knows, see if they want to. They're making me speak right now.
Ralavar has stopped his droning, but
It's
just
not-
mutters, "The stars."
All right, so Relevar is continuing to feign madness. All right, Chathar and who knows, it's up to you guys. What are you doing? What are you saying?
We wanted, what if we, what if we're trying to recruit people to help us kill Mother Zishina?
That's what you're saying?
Like, there's 2 responses. I mean, this is an internal conversation. There's 2 responses to this whole thing of the wife of an ally being used as blackmail. One is to try to rescue the person. The other is to respond to the blackmail with delivering what's required for the blackmail.
So like, are you saying swap sides?
Essentially, as
Yeah.
far at least verbally.
Yeah, that's where I was gonna go. That was the only other direction.
If we hear from the place, is Mother Zishina is from Leopard Isles, correct?
Yeah, she's back. She's the basically the spiritual head of the Leopard Isles. Very important, influential figure.
Okay. Hunos, do you want to take the reins or?
I don't think I should because I don't have any speech.
Okay, okay. I guess all right. Jathar's just gonna kind of stand up and kind of get his bearings about him again, and put on more of a confident face. Instead of trying to be incompetent now, it's going to go for more of a
We're looking
competent.
for the storytellers because we think that they're probably the best ally we could find
Yeah.
if we want to assassinate.
Yes. Yeah. No, I got you. I got you. I'm going. You are correct. We're not here for what would you say, just normal purposes. Can we trust? I'm just gonna look at Ambaru and just be like, this fellow.
Thought that I looked at him. I'm done with you now. And he turns and leaves like a dog with his tail between his legs.
Okay. What's the what is her name? How do you pronounce her name?
You've been calling her Sharu, but you have
No, I'm sorry.
guessed by now that she's the Lady of Thalthanai.
Yeah. But the what's the guy's name? That is the Leopard Isles. The guy who's employing us.
Tanglebur.
Not Odamara.
The guy that you work for is
Tanglebur.
Silverhand, yeah.
Tanglebur. Okay. And who knows? Who were you saying to double cross? You were saying to double cross him, correct? Or like double cross kind of our employer type of thing.
I mean, yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah, okay.
Well, not us. I mean, if we're truly mercenaries and we're not actually allied with anything in particular, then one of our options is to find a way to get close to the other side.
Yeah.
And we have connections to some of Silver's agents too. So
Yeah, okay. Jathar's gonna continue and just be like, we have come to you because it seems to us that you are one of the only ones who can help us in our situation.
Your situation being what?
I'm assuming you know who you think is our employer. You know, Tanglebur, right? And so we, all three of us, have a interesting relationship with Tanglebur and his, how could you say, lackeys. They have all but betrayed every single one of us, and we have information that could help you finish Tanglebur.
I'm listening.
Well, I feel like we're maybe not in the best situations right now where we could freely and uh have talk flow between us in a more of a business-like way.
Make your offer now. While I
Our
a thread
offer,
of patience.
yes, no, of course. Our offer is that we three, we are obviously in Tanglebear's good graces. I can give you the name of his right-hand man, but we three would like your help in disposing of them. We know that you have somebody important to Tanglebear. Obviously, that is what we are here for.
You see a smile slowly begins to spread across her face.
Yeah. But how about I suggest a different solution to this? You obviously have many guards, many people, right? Who can watch us. All of that, who have already been watching us, obviously. You in particular. What if we use what's her name? Starts with a T.
Tellini.
Tellini. What if we use Tellini to infiltrate where Tanglebur is? Because obviously, nobody knows where he is, correct? We could use Tellini to find out where he is.
What do you think about that, Tellini? And you look over at the girl who is in the corner playing the harp, and you see kind of like she's got beautiful red hair. Her brows are furrowed in something that appears to be anger or rage. I think you should kill these lying sons of bitches before they spew any more deceit. Well, there you have it. You failed to impress the young lady. As you can see, she's in no need of rescue. So, let me propose
Rescue.
2 possible endings to your story. The first is that we do, as Tellini has asked, we cut off your fingers, and then your toes, and then your ears, and then we put out your eyes. And last but not least, we remove your manhood with hot pincers. Now, that is by far the most amusing ending to your story, which I can imagine. And I'm rather irritated that we haven't already done it, to be totally honest. However, there is an alternative. Since Tellini came to stay with me, she has seen the merits of my position. And there is something I like about the story you're trying to tell now. There is some merit in the way that you speak. And so I would like to offer you the opportunity to make good on your suggestion. There is a beautiful future ahead of us in these lands. It is one which poor, stupid, meddling Tanglebird has a part to play in. Only he doesn't know it yet. Now, I don't want him dead or destroyed. Certainly, Tellini doesn't want to see her husband hanging from some gibbet. But if he could be persuaded to listen to my tale, to cooperate with me and Tellini and Onorama, I believe that we could come to a mutually beneficial position. Now, I'm happy to do the first thing. But if you like the second ending better, say so now.
I would say that the second ending is beneficial to everyone.
Are you guys taking the deal?
What are the Ralakarr has been just sort of slumping in shame for the past while. The terms are not clear to me. We convince the Narendal to side with you? To hear your story, said.
Let me make it simple for you, since you're so stupid and so bad at acting. For now,
I deserve that one.
You will return and say that you are unable to find the Lady Tellini. You will act as my eyes and ears within Tanglebird's organization, simply reporting on any of his efforts to determine the rule of the Leopard Isles. Whatever else he's up to, I don't really care. When the time comes, you will arrange for a meeting between us. he and myself and owner on the board to determine how this sea should be ruled in the years to come. Do this, not only will you live, but when kingdoms are divvied up, you will be wealthy beyond your wildest dreams. Or we can do the other thing. I want to mention, I don't mind the other thing.
Yes, yes. Now, do I have it correct that just so we're all on the same page, right? Because if we're gonna be together in this, we gotta all be on the same page. You don't want Tanglebird dead.
I have nothing to benefit from his death now.
You
Tanglebird
want
is an old friend of mine, actually. He's well, unwittingly and sometimes unwillingly solved several problems for me in the past. He's always been a most useful buffoon.
And is Tellini here of her free will?
Tellini, are you here of your free? I am here of my own free will. I was in the employ of Lord Honorable for years before I met Talarando as a, well, you might say, as an agent. I was at first resistant to the Lady Falthenai's kind invitation, but when I realized that she and my old master were working together for the good of all the people of the Amborai, then I decided I would trust them and wait and see what happened. I miss my husband terribly, and I look forward to being reunited with him. But I trust Lord Honorama and the Lady Falthenai that this is not the right time. Straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. Now, are you going to do something silly? Or will you take my offer?
Unless someone's got a grand scheme.
I think we take the offer of our own free will, as it were.
But what's your alignment with the Midnight Prince?
The Midnight Prince is someone we will have to take care of.
I mean, we are okay with that.
Yeah,
We want to see him well taken care of.
The Midnight Prince is definitely not on your list of favorite people.
Yeah.
We're with Galal.
That makes sense, yeah.
Assuming Galal is even still alive.
Yeah, that's right. Cool.
Of course he is.
Well,
sure, that's something that we are in alignment with.
And sorry, checking notes. The mother Zishine is still to be dead, yes?
that is a most difficult question. I would, of course, prefer not to see her killed. But if she persists in supporting the Prince of Midnight, then we will have no choice. But I personally don't want to see her dead.
But you'd be okay with her dying.
Only if I had some measure of control over who replaced her. Which, as I do not, I would prefer she did not die.
What do you need for someone to replace her? What do you need in someone?
There are 2 or 3 strong candidates for runner-ups at the Convent of the Round of Dawn. One of them will have to be persuaded that it is Lord Onorama who has the best interests of the islands at heart. This might be something you could help us with. Now, since you've all agreed to come along on my little adventure, I suppose the last remaining question is, what do we do with that brightly dressed buffoon waiting for you back at the inn?
Now, I am assuming that he would have to take us back, since you want us to convince I get all these T names mixed up. Tallinn. Tanglebur. I assume since you want us to convince Tanglebur of what you're requesting.
Yes, I think that would be best if you think you can give him a version of the story. Which
Yeah.
If you cannot, sea voyages are dangerous things.
We know that.
And let me just make one thing very clear to you. Your coming to the Isles was known to me. Your coming from the Isles was known to me. Your arrival here did not go unnoticed. I have storytellers everywhere. And so, if for any reason you should change your mind and decide to betray me, well, let's just say your story would not have a happy ending.
Why would we betray you?
Why, indeed? Well, unless anybody wants to be tortured, I think this interview is concluded nicely. Someone will contact you when you arrive back at the Leopard Isles with further instructions. Until then, simply do whatever you like.
My only request is that it at least appear that we've done our due diligence, and our original mission involved compromising Ambaru in some way. And we would like the chance to complete that.
And was our mission just to free Tellini, or was
Yeah,
it
your
also
mission was to find
assassinate?
Tellini. Your mission was
Okay.
to find Tellini. To do that, you needed an in with the underworld.
Yeah.
The whole point of going after Mberu was for that.
Yeah. Okay.
We're
I
anxious
didn't know if we need to assassinate
with
anyone.
the
I didn't remember.
Mberu is a fool, but a fool at my disposal. If you need to act out your little charade with him, I can arrange that it is done. The only stipulation is that when all is said and done, you find that the Lady Tellini is not here in Ralakarr, that she has been sent away south somewhere, perhaps to the Holy City for further questioning. And from there, we can, when the time is right, she can be reunited with her husband, but not until he returns from this errand which he is on.
Those are terms we can agree to.
All right.
We don't know what errand he's on, correct? We were not told
You
that.
do, because you asked our
Oh,
passion.
that's right. Yeah. All right. But yeah, I won't say anything.
Okay. All right, so for the sake of time, unless anybody has shenanigans to pull, I'm not trying to override anybody.
No shenanigans.
My shenanigans failed.
Yeah.
I'll be done with the shenanigans for now.
The Lady Thalthanai is good to her word. She puts on Beirut at your disposal, and you are able to play out the charade of befriending him. The duel is not necessary to get him in your debt, but you sort of go through the motions of befriending him over the course of the next 3 days, gambling more and more each night, with Beirut losing increasing sums in order to basically satisfy Arpesh's curiosity. This is assuming you guys are not telling Arpesh about your conversation with the Lady Thalthanai.
I would not.
And then yeah, after 3 days, you are and Beirut lets you into the Storyteller headquarters there in the catacombs of the old aqueduct system beneath the city. And there's not anything to find, because obviously anything really incriminating has already been cleared out. But you do find records indicating that the Lady Tellini was sent away to the Holy City about a month prior.
All right.
So I'm gonna double check the math on this, like I said. But let's see here. If it was the 8th, or sorry, the 11th of Kanavar, I think is what we said. 12. So I think that you would be arriving back at the Leopard Isles on about the 23rd of Kanavar, the beginning of the fast of the sons of Nanalan. So that will set up that will give us our date for when the when Tanglebur and the rest will be informed of your news, which, assuming you guys are keeping the agreement which you made in good faith. Otherwise, I would have had you make some deception rolls. That's why I was like, are you really doing this? Assuming you're keeping the agreement you made in good faith, what he will be told is what you told Arpesh, that you were unable to find Tellini and that she's been sent away to Senkinkar. Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, I'm not lying.
Cool. Well, this is a very interesting turn of events. Definitely didn't really foresee the evening going anything remotely like this. But dice tell stories, players tell stories, and storytellers also tell stories.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the fun thing so this is the end of phase 1. So basically what I'm going to do is between phase 1 and 2, I'm going to run a game with the original crew, including Tanglebur, Tenorendel, and the rest. And as we'll see how their little quest shakes out and see when they get back and what they learn. And then we'll get orders from the faction leaders for phase 2, and we'll start scheduling those games. So You guys, your part in this has officially ended. Although, like I said, if we have games like slots to fill in future games, I'll definitely reach out on the Discord. And in the meantime, I will get all of these videos posted probably sometime in the next couple of weeks, so everybody can watch Phase 1. And I think when you guys watch some of the other Phase 1 videos, there will be surprises. There will be some big surprises.
Nice.
So yeah, no, this is very fun and very interesting and very useful. And yeah, this is fun. This is you know, some classic Cold War spycraft right there, like playing agents back.
Yeah, we were kind of in a corner there, and you know.
Yep. We shouldn't have gotten the cart.
You really should
No.
not have. I kept checking. I was like, "Are you guys blah blah? Are you guys blah blah? Are you guys blah blah?" Like I kept asking because I didn't want anyone to feel like they were being forced into something.
Yeah.
We played right into it.
Just
We
went along
did.
with
We
it. And
went
like
into
at
the
some point, you
corners.
cross a little bit of a Rubicon where it's like, okay, this you can fight your way out, but that's really it. At this point,
Yeah.
there's a lot of those guys, and there's only 3 of you, and so
I wanted to see what the woman was, what Embarra's plan was. But
yeah, I mean, no, it's great. It was very fun. I think this is the best possible outcome for tonight from a
the
creating
story.
future intrigue and confusion standpoint. This is the
Yeah.
best possible outcome. Much better than, you know, the adventure as planned, right?
Yeah.
Which I never
Saving
actually like.
the
I never
lady.
planned the ends of adventures. I just sort of planned like, here's hooks
Yeah.
for the players to interact with. So I never have like an outcome in mind, but this was definitely better than anything I would have imagined happening. So thank you guys very much. This is a ton of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. And just for people watching at home, this is a pretty normal pace for my Amboria campaign, like my home group. So pretty much there's usually combat about every other session. And then you have sessions that are like a lot of talking like this, and we usually play for about 2 to 3 hours, just like we did these. And I know some people like a game with a lot more fighting, and weirdly enough, some people like games with even less. I don't know, but this seems to be a pace that works well. And by the way, it's not just I think it's just the pace that I run games at. I think it's really what Emboria is designed for. Certainly, like the wound economy and everything kind of has the idea that fights happen. When fights happen, combat is extremely dangerous. And so if you can talk your way out of it at any point in time, like it's not just a given, you're gonna have to fight your way out of this. Like there's always options until there aren't, you know. Taking that bet, getting in that carriage, all those things. It's so crazy. But anyway,
Sorry guys.
no, it's great. Don't be
Yep.
sorry. I thought that was awesome. I thought the gambling was really fun and went a direction I didn't expect it to go. And the like, you know, there are all kinds of things you could have done to like Welsh on the bet, or just like, you know, scope things out, try to learn a little more about Amberu or whatever, but you just did what you did, and
Yeah.
turned out to be really, really interesting outcome. But
We
anyway,
wanted
yeah,
an audience, right?
yeah, you got it. You actually took the much shorter route, and also force and there's no, I'm not going to tell you what this is right now, but this seriously screwed up other shenanigans that I had planned. It's like shenanigans happened, but now other shenanigans have been immediately like eliminated. So like I had a whole sneaky, really, really sneaky thing.
Yeah.
And now it's not revealed, and it may never happen. So you did actually screw up plans that not me as the GM, but plans that the rival factions have made have actually been screwed up now. So that's really fun as
Nice.
well. So I'll
Nice.
probably, I don't know. The thing is, like, I want to tell people at home like what's going on behind the scenes, but then I have no way to ensure that players won't accidentally see that information when we still have 2 phases left. So I'll make a, I don't know, maybe I'll start like recording some campaign diaries and then just put them up when it's over.
Nice. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that would be
That'd be
fun to
cool.
do. All right, guys, I'm
Cool.
very tired. This has been a lot of fun. Thanks everybody for watching along at home. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for screaming at the computer, telling Jathar to do anything other than what he did. Thanks for your patience with Ralakarr's really bad King David, feigning madness, trying to get out of the situation. It was a great idea. She's just too smart for that. Is really what it was. She's just too.
I was going for the mad mystic thing.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. It was
It
a
was
good.
good.
It was a good impulse. But you know, you have to imagine like the spy mistress, head of the secret police, like her instincts are pretty good.
Yeah.
And then who knows, who never made any mistakes. It was just totally flawless, silent bodyguard the whole night. So, you know.
The
All right.
voice of reason.
Yeah, that's right. Well, this is a ton of fun. Yeah, this is great. Thank you guys very much.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night. Thanks everyone for watching at home, and we'll see
Thanks.
you next time in the world under starlight.
Have a good one, guys.